Coming up, you're going to discover the number one mistake that most app creators make when trying to land an Apple feature. Stay tuned. What is up, App Nation? It is Steve P. Young, founder of appmasters.co, the place you go when you want action-packed content with real data, case studies that's working to help you drive app growth in today's crowded marketing app space. And today, I really want to show you the number one thing that I look at when clients come to us and saying, we want to help you. Please help us with our launch. Please tell us what channels are best. And we'd love to try to get an Apple feature too. And once I hear that keyword, we want to try to get an Apple feature. Obviously, everybody wants to get it, right? Because you can get tremendous amounts of growth, over 100,000 downloads if you're a game, probably around the 5 to 20,000 mark if you're not a game for landing an Apple feature. And it's real revenues that are coming in as well because there's that social proof that comes with getting featured by Apple. So obviously it's a great channel. It's hard to control. We've got some ways of sort of figuring out how to control it, but it's a great channel for app growth. And it's one that once you land an Apple feature, subsequent ones become so much easier as well. So I get it. And when I hear that keyword, when clients say, hey, I want an Apple feature, I immediately look at this one thing, and it's the biggest mistake that I see most app developers make when trying to land an Apple feature. So, and I'm gonna share with you towards the end of it, how to actually fix it easily and affordably, all right? So how to correct that mistake easily and affordably. Okay, let's get to it. So the number one mistake for an Apple feature and how to correct it easily and affordably. Now, because my end goal is to actually become a game show host, I'm gonna play a little game, all right? So here's the number one mistake. It's a 6-letter word, and here's an emoji to help you out. I'm gonna give you about 5 to 10 seconds to kind of figure it out. If you think you got it, put it in your head and we're ready to go. What do you think it is? Now, if you want another hint, here it is. Starts with the letter D. Should be pretty easy by now, because if you think about Apple, there's one simple word that comes to your mind. It's design. That's the number one mistake. And that's the one thing I really, really look at and really kind of emphasize when I'm trying to work with clients for potential Apple feature. Now, most people, fortunately for me, have really good designs that I think are great and that can land them an Apple feature. And just a few tweaks have gotten them an Apple feature. So I'm going to walk you through 2 different case studies of clients that we really helped land an Apple feature. Now, I say design because if you look at all the apps that are being featured by Apple right now, that's the one thing that they have in common. There's a few other things that I'll highlight later on, but if you look at these icons, they're all really well designed, right? And if you go into the app, I'm sure it's well designed as well, but the icon's that first piece of creative that anybody sees, whether it's an Apple employee that's kind of figuring out which apps to highlight here, or your end users. They're gonna see the sea of app icons and they're gonna look at which one really speaks to them the most. So as you can see, like Blocky Pirates, for example, that resonates with me because 1, I see a face, and 2, I see a pirate. So if I'm into these type of games, I'm like, okay, well, what's that game all about? And I'm able to click in a little bit more. And one thing I want to highlight too is big game studios. Think about them, right? They've got great relationships with Apple. They do a lot of A/B testing on icons through Facebook ads, through other means. Just Split Metrics is another platform. But they do a lot of A/B testing with app icons, screenshots, and everything to make sure that the best icon is actually being presented upon launch. So do a lot of this homework and do a lot of A/B testing. I'm going to show you how to do it affordably, but in the end, if you've got a little bit of budget, you can pay for it essentially. And that's what big game companies are doing. All right, let's get to some of the case studies. So here's one of my favorite apps. This was an app that we launched late last year, I believe, 2016. And Jonas, great friend of mine who we've developed a good relationship now. But here's what we did. And I'm sharing this because we did this publicly as well on a Facebook page, and I'll show you what this is. And when I first saw the app, I was like, whoa, beautifully designed. I really like the concept. It's called Bollified, and it is a mixture of solitaire and Scrabble, right? So you build words, but there's a solitaire type of feel to it. And the first time I saw it, I was like, the feedback I gave Jonas was, hey, it doesn't feel like a word game, because I think the monkey was really highlighted. I said, I think we have to do a better job of sort of highlighting that this is actually a word game, because upon looking at this app icon, I have no idea, but the app itself is beautifully designed, right? So we did this test on a Facebook group. It's called the App Entrepreneurs and Marketers Group. It's got over 20,000 members on it. Really great, lively group. And I said, hey guys, we're launching this new game. Here's the website if you want to go check it out, but it's a word game. You want to explain a little bit, and then put A, B, C, D. Can you guys just let me know which app icon you like the best? Now, the key to running this A/B test is making sure that they significantly look different. The biggest mistake that I see when you're running this A/B test on this freestyle like this, or when I mean freestyle, I mean you're doing this for free through an app Facebook group, is the icons look so stinking similar. Like, what's the big difference? You're not going to get a huge lift or a key difference in these icon variations if they all look pretty much the same and they're just small, slight color differences. That's not a good A/B test. You want to make them dramatically different. And that's what we did here. And you can see most people said D, C, D, C, D, C, and that's what people were saying. Now, Jonas and I kind of made that final decision because we actually like D the best. And guess what happened? We actually got it featured by Apple. You can see we pretty much went with what we had in D and got it featured by Apple. This was featured in Canada, Australia. We got a banner and under the word category in the US, but 12 other countries. So really great launch that we helped Jonas, really succeed. And that's what I really do for clients. I'm pretty brutally honest with people when I look at an app and I'm like, oh, well, there's no harm in trying to get a feature. But I say, your icon really needs a lot of work, or your design in general really needs a lot of work. And that's the first thing I look at. All right, let's go to another case study. So this is another app that we helped launch, and it is a Learn Chinese for Kids game. It's a really niche app. We got it featured. Spoiler alert. But this was done through my own personal Facebook group because I didn't want to go to the App Entrepreneurs group because I felt like I wanted the opinion of a broader space. I didn't want just app people, right? I wanted my friends who were not in the app space to give me feedback because this was more of a parents type of kids app. So I didn't want just like app creators giving me feedback. And so we put this together. Now, here's what I did again. Client came up with B, C, D, and D. And I said, I don't really like any of them that much. But when I went into the app, I saw it was a graphical element within the app. And I said, I really like this because it speaks to what you're kind of providing, which is educational content from award-winning shows, from actual TV. So I was like, that icon speaks to exactly what you do, and it's beautiful. There's that 3D element, and there's a little happy face. It's very much like what I think kids would be attracted to. Okay, and then we did this poll on Facebook through just my Facebook friends. Okay, and as you can see, I totally up the score here. I just said, hey guys, which icons do you like? We got an app that's learning to help kids learn Chinese through educational videos. Which icons do you like, A, B, C, or D? Okay. Now here are the results. Thanks everyone. Here are the scores. I tallied it all up. I went in at night. I said 23 for A, 27 for B, C, D, so forth. Okay. I actually like A the best, and I put that. I like A the best, but combining A, B, C would probably be the best option. Love you guys. Because if you read through the comments, people had said, hey, they like the fact that, you see ABC and you see Chinese characters too. So it really spoke to that. So here's what we did. And thanks to all the feedback, boom. As you can see, we started combining it, right? Now we have the most of the elements of A, but we combined a little bit. We had a little book to make it look educational, and then the A, and then the Chinese character for A, I believe. I don't know. I can't read it, but you can kind of get a sense of exactly what the app does by looking at that icon, right? It's for kids probably, and as you can see, the app name we came up with, but it's for kids, and you see elements of what it means. So that's what I'm talking about. Design's so important, and doing these little simple tests gave me the impact. I think what I read, if I remember correctly, was B, people said, hey, we like the fact that, Chinese characters were there. So we just combined it. I really liked A. You kind of feel it on your gut. I really liked A, but combining those elements brought us to this and landed an Apple feature. We got this featured in the US in the main category and in Canada as well. So really great stuff. Tremendous amounts of downloads that came with it, even for a niche app like this, which I wasn't so sure that we would land that feature. I was, like, it's so niche, right? It's for kids, it's about Chinese. I didn't know if that would work, but given that it's well designed, there's really good content in it, and our strategies that we're able to implement for the client, we're able to get that feature as well. So design, really, really important. I showed you some of the ways that you can simply do it and affordably do it. Do it through your Facebook channels, do it through some Facebook groups, App Entrepreneurs and Marketers group. Search for it on Facebook, you'll find it. It's the biggest one there with over 20,000 members as of this recording. So I know you're asking this, like, Steve, those are really cool. And they had a design team, both clients that I work with. But how do I, as maybe an independent person, indie developer, how do I get cool icons? Well, Jim, I don't know, I just made up that name, but I'll tell you, here's the spot you can go. Dribbble.com, Dribbble with 3 B's. Go there, look for the type of icon you're looking for. So what I put in here is word game icon. That's all I put. You'll come up with all these great looking icons. You'll be like, that's interesting. How do I pull that? Or that's a great one. Like, I love the word tag one right here. I love that one. That's a great one for maybe even a typewriter or a writing app, right? Or this one's decent. But now you have all this inspiration that then you can take to your designer, or even contact the designer on Dribbble and say, hey, I really love your icon. Is there a way that you can kind of change bits and pieces to make it work for me? And then optimize that for that. Just reach out to them, and you can get some really affordable icons. For me, I got a camera app from one of my camera apps. I got it for about $100, $200. So one thing to ask the designers on Dribbble if you're going to buy it from them is, one, have you sold this app icon before? And two, one, if you can change it. If they haven't sold it, you can ask them if you want to buy it, because they've already created it, obviously. So it's pretty easy for them to sell it to you. So you can do that, or you can take it to any of these, past sponsor of the show was 99 Designs. You could take it to 99 Designs and say, hey, here's some icons that I really like. We're looking for a particular icon as well. That's a way to do it. Now, if you want to learn more about our Apple feature process, we're doing a live training next Thursday, June 15th at 9 a.m. Pacific time, 9 a.m. Pacific time, 12 p.m. Eastern, and I think it's 5 p.m. if you're out in London. But we're doing this live. I'm going to walk you through exactly all the tools that we use, our favorite subject lines, how you can craft the subject lines, the bigger mistakes. There's also 2 more mistakes that most people make. So we're going to walk you through the biggest mistakes so you can avoid them when you're trying to land an Apple feature. And then how to look for hidden opportunities within Apple. We got a client featured in May, and we found these hidden opportunities to land that feature, and I'm going to share that with you. And then lastly, like, how do you formulate the pitch? I think the biggest thing, because Apple features are editorial, meaning you have to pitch Apple and you got to get on their radar, how do you really tell a great story? And that's what I'm going to show to you, because I think that's our main secret, if there is a secret to it. Because you can, anybody, if you've watched any of my past videos, I share with you how to get in touch with Apple through multiple ways. But I think the real secret to that is, how do you really tell a great story? We think we've done a really good job of figuring out the right formula, and I'm going to walk you step by step on this formula to really formulate an email pitch that gets somebody at Apple their attention, right? I'm confident enough to say this, that most of our subject lines always get an open. I'm going to share the formula with you that you can use, that you don't even need to be creative. You can just say, hey, what are these templates that I can follow, and how do I come up with my own? And I'm going to share some of the emails that we've been able to use for our clients and how you can do it too. So all that is being revealed. I'm pulling back the curtains for you in this live training, and I'll answer any questions that you have about this particular topic. And lastly, because people want to know that since webinars are so popular, I will be selling a course on the back end. It's the App Masters Playbook, and it kind of highlights everything about an Apple feature, our ASO process, our Musical.ly influencers process, and all the different growth hacks that we have that really drive growth. So it is the App Masters Playbook, guiding you exactly through all the channels that we use to drive app growth. But even if you don't sign up for this course, you'll get a lot of great information on how to really formulate an Apple pitch. I promise you, it will be very beneficial. You don't need the course to get an Apple feature. You're gonna get exactly how to formulate the template and the pitch to get on Apple's radar. Promise you that. Be there. It is the simple link, if you're listening to this or watching this on YouTube, is appmasters.co/Apple. That will take you to the registration page. Sign up for it. Be there live June 15th at 9 a.m. Pacific time. I will be there live to answer any questions that you might have. Hope to see you there at masters.co/Apple.